APPNA members. This is your host, Dr. Tariq Alam, yet again with another episode of APPNA Café series. Throughout the course of this year, we have interviewed various APPNA committee chairs. We have learned about the workings of different APPNA committees. As we come towards the end of the year, we are going to interview the man who basically manages APPNA, the APPNA secretary. We are pleased and honored to have Dr. Muhammad Sanaullah join us. Welcome, Dr. Sanaullah.
Thank you, Dr. Alam. This is an honor and a privilege for me to be part of this series, wonderful series actually started by the Communication Committee this year. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. So before we go into some of the hard questions, and as I will say, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what motivated you to be a part of this great organization?
Absolutely. Dr. Alam, I'm Dr. Muhammad Sanaullah. I'm national graduate of 2003, and I'm an internal medicine hospitalist. I own a multi-specialty medical group. I live in Oklahoma City, and part of APPNA for almost 15 years. My journey started when I was doing a residency in New York, in Brooklyn Hospital. National alumni did their retreat in New York. So that was my first meeting in, I think it was 2010. And since that meeting, I think hardly I missed any meeting after that. The reason I got connected with APPNA through National alumni, like I said, and through its charitable wing, the philanthropic wing, in my own alumni, I have seen they were doing so many and tremendous work, philanthropy work. And then when I came to know about APPNA through SWDRC and a lot of other charity projects, APPNA was doing an amazing work. And that's how I got connected. And then I came to different leadership roles. I was a counselor, I was a treasurer, secretary, president of National alumni. And then I served in almost all the major committees in APPNA, especially the scholarship committee I chaired twice, and in connected with APPNA vision and mission for many years, alhamdulillah.
Excellent. So APPNA is an older organization. It's been there for many years now, several decades, and you are the youngest secretary of this organization. So tell us a little bit about that unique honor.
Yes, this is definitely an honor. And I think this is what the direction APPNA needs to go. I always invite our younger physicians to be part of this wonderful organization because I started participating in APPNA in a very young age while I was a resident. That's why I came to know like this organization is doing tremendous work. And when I came in different leadership roles, for example, in my national alumni, I involved all the young physicians, all my different committee chairs in National alumni, all the young physicians of the National, I made them be part of those committees and even chairing those committees. So what happened, there's a big change happened after that. So all our younger physicians started joining National alumni. Now, for the last 5-6 years, all the executive committees that belong to the young physicians. And I think this is what's happening in APPNA now, alhamdulillah. A lot of young physicians are joining. And I think once you will see more younger and younger physicians joining APPNA, our political culture will change, the passion will change. Alhamdulillah, it's already happening. Probably we are not there where we should be. But a lot of young physicians are joining APPNA and it's changing the cultures and the politics in APPNA.
That is excellent to know that APPNA is taking a direction where it's embracing many young physicians who really are our future. So in your own journey, have you encountered any resistance? Or if you did, what were those resistance and how you overcame those resistance to be able to reach this level of leadership within the organization?
Yeah. I think in the start, you feel like probably you're not giving that much opportunity, but I think it's just a perception. Once you start getting involved, APPNA actually encourage you to take the leadership roles, especially if you're serving your alumni first, your chapter first, and just be part of different committees. Even as a member, you learn to know how APPNA work, about APPNA bylaws, about the operations, SOPs, and then you know the people also. So I did not feel any resistance in the start. Maybe I just felt like, but I never felt any resistance. Alhamdulillah, I always prove myself. I spend the time in different committees, and I prove myself. And once you prove something, you know the APPNA bylaws, you know the people there, then they let you serve in different committees, and that's how you progress in different leadership roles.
I think that's remarkable, and that will be a learning curve for many of our younger generations aspiring to be a part of this organization. So, Dr. Sanaullah, tell me a little bit about this year. This year, you have worked very closely in a very prominent leadership position in the organization. So, as the secretary of the organization, what exactly has been your role? And what will you tell those members who are not aware of the working of this position?
So, yes, it's a wonderful question. As a secretary, your role is mostly the coordination. You coordinate all the meetings of the board of director. You coordinate all the meetings of the council. It's not only you arrange the meeting, coordinate the meeting, you basically document those meetings. So I have to prepare the agenda with the help of president for board of director meetings, council meetings, general body meetings, and even the town hall meetings that I did this year. And I think this year we have the highest board of director meetings ever in the last 2 or 3 years that I know of. Um, and you will see that all, and you can talk to the board of directors, you can talk to the council members, that the agenda of these meetings, the documents that that I need to share with the board of directors or the council members, I share all that timely. And then you will see this year for all the board of director council meetings, the minutes are already prepared and those are already uploaded on the website. So this is my role, the coordination and communication in the organization, especially the meetings for the board of director and the council.
I see. What role does the APPNA secretary have in the organizing of the annual meeting and so many other meetings that the organization has?
So regarding meetings, a secretary does not have a direct role. Basically, as a board of director, we appoint the host committees, and the host committees are historically, basically, host committees are the one with the help of president actually organize these meetings. And the secretary definitely participate in some of those meetings, but they are not being invited in all the host committee meetings. This year, if you have seen there was some questions about how we purchase the tickets and all that. So we worked on SOPs for the host committees. These are uploaded already on our secretary portion of APPNA website. And in those SOPs, we streamlined the role of the treasurer and also the secretary. They they are encouraged to be part of these host committee meetings. And I think in coming years, there is a more oversight by the board of director for these meetings. It was not historically happening. But inshallah, in the coming years, because of these SOPs, because of more oversight of the board of directors, you will see there will be a lot more oversight from the board of directors.
You mentioned about the SOPs, and the SOPs, of course, is a very integral part of how the organization functions. You have the cable, and now you have the SOPs. Does the membership have any input in the creation of these SOPs?
So, yes, I agree with you that SOPs are very important part of our organization structure because everything is not in the bylaws. So actually every committee, including the board of directors, EGC, board appointed committees, council appointed committees, and council itself should have its own SOPs because we cannot write everything in our bylaws. So you will be happy to see that there is a lot of SOPs already created this year. We have the SOPs for the board of directors, and we have the code of conduct for the board of directors, and for the chairs and members of all the committees. We recently approved the SOPs first time for the council also. There was a subcommittee working on that, and we got approved the SOPs for the council. We have the SOPs for Ethics and Grievance Committee, and they actually send a revised one that will be approved very soon. So these SOPs are very important piece, and I think in the coming years you will see every committee will have its own SOPs, and I think this is the only way we can improve our operations in APPNA. Regarding your questions that members are directly involved in these SOPs or not, so I will say probably not, because board of directors make their own SOPs, council make their own SOPs, EGC committee make their own SOPs. So those committees are directly involved, but not, I will say, the membership. But I think, once we publish these SOPs, then if the members have any input, the member have any objection, they can reach out directly to that committee and give their input. But maybe this is something, I think a good idea. Maybe we can, before we make the SOPs final, those can go to the membership for the input. So maybe this is something we can do in the future.
Thank you so much for this clarification, because a lot of members, are aware of cable, but they might not be aware of the various code of conducts and SOPs. And certainly it requires a lot of hard work to create these documents. So, Dr. Sanaullah, you mentioned about the SOPs and the committees. Committees are the basic unit of APPNA. That's where majority of the work happens. So as secretary, what kind of a liaison do you maintain with these various APPNA committees to ensure that they are actually carrying out the projects and furthering the mission of the organization?
So my role is mostly the coordination between different committees and board of directors. From the start of years, I invited different committees in different meetings of the board of directors so that they can present what they're doing. In the strategy meeting, actually, we asked all the chairs to work on what they will be doing for whole years. And then periodically, I was in touch with them and bringing them to the board of director meetings for the follow-up. So we worked on a communication policy this year that's also uploaded on the website. Actually, we are working on making a section on the website. Board of Directors recently approved this, that there will be a section of SOPs where all these SOPs will reside, so it will be easy for the members to read. So Board of Directors actually approved a communication policy to streamline how the Board of Directors will work with the different committees through the secretary. My role is to coordinate and streamline that communication. So if any board appointed committee or council appointed committee have anything to communicate with the board, they reach out to me and I will communicate with the board of directors. If anything needs to come to the agenda, I put on the board of meeting agenda and then I communicate it back to that committee. So through our communication policy, this has already been streamlined this year, how the different committees and committee chairs will communicate with the board through the secretary. And that is very well written in our communication policy.
With so many different committees that APPNA has, coordinating between these various committees and making sure that the APPNA mission and vision is furthered is definitely not an easy task. So I really wish to acknowledge all the excellent work that the BOD and especially you as secretary has done this year. One thing which I would like you to tell our membership is a lot of people are aware of the committees, but many people are not aware what the functioning of the council is. So if you can just tell some of our members what the APPNA council is, and again, you as the secretary, how are you involved in connecting the council with the executive?
Great question. So the council is composed of the president of all the component societies, like our chapters and our alumni. We have this year total 57 council members, meaning there are 57 chapters and alumni, and all their president are the part of the council. Also, the president of APPNA is the chair of the council. I, as a secretary, join the council. I'm a secretary of the council also, but I'm a non-voting member of the council. I cannot vote. The president-elect is also a non-voting member of the council.
Yes.
So the main function of the council is it's a legislative wing of APPNA in its operational structure. Anything on if we need to do amendments in our bylaws, that cannot happen with the approval and permission of council. The bylaws committee work on those amendments, then it needs to get approved from the council. If council does not approve, these amendment cannot go to the membership. So,
Mhm.
so it's a legislative wing, and also it's a check and balance. If there are three council appointed committees, so that only council appoint, board of director have nothing to do with those committees. Those are extremely powerful and important committees like ethics and grievance committee, FCC, that's a finance committee, and nomination and election committee. These committees are directly appointed by the councils. They are also report to the council, not to the board of directors. So through those committees, council directly participate in the functions and operations of the organization also.
Well, thank you so much for giving our members the opportunity to explain what the APPNA Council is. Now, managing the APPNA Council, the board of directors, different committees is definitely not an easy task. And this year is almost over. So, if you were to look back into the year, what do you think were some of the biggest achievements that your BOD has achieved and you, particularly as secretary, can be proud of?
So there is so many things. Dr. Alam, I know APPNA is a big organization, and a lot of work still sometimes go unnoticed. I'm glad that communication committee started this and highlighting the work, but certain pieces, and items, agenda items that got approved from the board of directors that we are really proud of. One is, we made sure this year that everything that happened in the board of director council that is well documented. So you will see the quality of the meeting minutes, and that's getting approved timely from the board of directors and being published. And also in those meeting minutes, you will see we made sure as a board of director this year that the voting record of each and every member of the board of directors is published. I started doing from the first meeting of the board of director, but later on, one of our board of director, Dr. Arman Raza, actually brought a motion that we need to make it formal, that the voting record of each and every board of director will be published. And if you read the minutes, is being published. The who how we are voting in the board of directors that's being published and documented in the minutes. So the minutes are very detailed, and because of the voting record, I think is being transparent to the membership to let them know. Then different SOPs that, especially for the host committee, the code of conduct, the SOPs of different other committees that board of director approved this communication policy. That's definitely achievements. And also, the board of director worked on record keeping and documentation policy in APPNA. This is, Dr. Alam, is a very important step in APPNA happened this year. What we did actually, we streamlined all the record of APPNA. It was not happening before. Nobody knew where we are storing these records. So now we have a central documentation record of APPNA record, So, and we made a policy and who will access this record, and if certain employees of our organizations leaving, that won't affect the record of APPNA. So this is something really remarkable happened this year. And we also working on streamlining our the email access system and computer system of our office employees. That's will also help to streamline the documentations and record keeping of APPNA. This is something big happened this year, and we'll continue to work on that. Another achievement happened when, with the call of the board of director, the whole membership responded. That was during our Dr. Mariam Shaukat, if you remember, may Allah grant her Jannah.
Absolutely.
During when one of our doctor was needing help, the board of director gave that call. Within 48 hours, we collected close to little less than $500,000 just in 48 hours. That tells the strength of APPNA. And to be honest, we are really proud of our membership. And anyone who wants to know what APPNA is, this is what APPNA is. So Alhamdulillah, we completed that. Unfortunately, we could not save Dr. Shaukat, but she connected us as a one unit, as a one family. So now what we are doing with the Dr. Mariam Shaukat Endowment Fund, we are making an endowment fund under her name. So we will give a interest-free loan to our young physicians. We made a APPNA Dr. Mariam Shaukat Skill Lab in Gujranwala Medical College. APPNA donated the money for that also. And so that is definitely a big thing happen in APPNA this year, and we are really proud of that. And also, I think with the time, the APPNA is going towards a board-centric organization. Still, probably there is some journey. This model is new, but we are heading in that direction. And there's a lot of things happen this year that is pulling and pushing APPNA in that direction. And I'm very positive, inshallah, in next couple of years, you will see this will be a totally board-centric organization, inshallah. And last but not the least, I think board of director worked on membership dues reduction. And that brought a great momentum in the membership. I think we got probably, I saw Dr. Janjua was telling the numbers. We are more than 2,000 new members, I think more than 500 the lifetime and more than 1,500 the annual members. That's a great thing. In any professional organizations, they're struggling with the membership, but APPNA is the only organization, alhamdulillah, that's growing every year, and we are very happy with the tremendous growth this year.
Well, thank you so much for summarizing that, because that is definitely a lot of excellent information that you have given us. This leads us to another question, and the two questions that I'm going to ask you next, they might be interrelated. That membership engagement you mentioned about, Dr. Mariam Shaukat, and unfortunately she could not survive, but it really brought the membership together, and then the dues being reduced, in which we were able to make so many new members. So as your role as secretary and you being so closely involved with the working of the organization, what would you say about membership engagement, where APPNA is right now? What can we do to make this better? And what perception we can create to attract those who are still sitting on the fence?
That's a great question. I think we are making progress towards member engagement, and there's a different ways we can do that through our different events that we do in the whole years that definitely engage our members through our APPNA elections. I think this is a great way to engage the members. I think with the time, excuse me, we need to do more of a town hall meeting. That actually, if you remember, on September 17th, we did APPNA first town hall meeting, and there was a great response. We need to do more of town hall meetings, and we did talk to Dr. Rao Baba Rao, the president-elect, and he is planning to continue this more in the next year. And I think that will be another great way to engage the members. But we need to go to the basics. And I think our council meetings and general body meetings, we need to bring back to on Saturday, because those are the time when mostly members are present. So our general body meetings need to be very comprehensive. So I think this was something more learning this year. And we made sure this, Dr. Alam, in the council SOPs, and that the council approved a couple of days back, we made sure that we put in the SOPs that the council meeting will happen on Saturdays, so that the maximum people can join that. And I think that's a way where members can ask questions directly from the leadership, and leadership needs to come prepared to answer those questions. So those was happening before, And this year, I think this is a learning curve for us. Some days we could not have the meeting on Saturdays, but we put this in the SOPs. And I think in the coming, in the next year, you will see all the council meeting will be happening on Saturdays.
Excellent, excellent. So, again, once again, it seems that the board is definitely responsive, listening to membership concerns, looking for more accountability, transparency, and engagement. Dr. Sanaullah, you mentioned something about the documentation, and you mentioned about APPNA office. Many APPNA members are used to seeing APPNA in lavish hotels, at the annual meeting, at the international meeting. So tell us a little bit about the APPNA office. Where exactly is the APPNA office? Who's the staff? Who are the backbone behind this organization? And you as secretary, how do you link, the part which is visible and the part which is basically the powerhouse?
Yeah, that's wonderful. So APPNA office, we have an office in Chicago. APPNA basically owns that office, and we have our director of operation, Nick So. He is basically the main force behind APPNA office, and he coordinates with other employees. We have Leslie, an amazing person who coordinates with the different committees. We hired a new staff member just a couple of months back, Dr. Sarah Siddiqui. She's a physician and wonderful person, has a lot of experience to work with other non-profit organizations. So we recently hired her. So these are the three active employees right now in the office. And we have other subcontractors like Siddiqui, if you know, he is our subcontractor. He manages all our IT, website, and also a lot of on-site help during events. Then we have our event coordinator, Tipu Ahmed, an amazing person working with APPNA for a long time. So these are the active staff that we have office, and then there are different coordinators that we have in Pakistan. They are sitting there working with the different committees. And this year, we talked about we are increasing slowly the staff members in our office because we have realized APPNA have grown tremendously in different directions. Our budget has increased, our committees has increased, but our staff has not. So now we are working to increase the staff in the office so we can definitely take care of the membership needs. And there is a huge focus to improve these operations where if APPNA members need anything from our office, they will be reaching out to our members within 24 hours and taking care of their issues. If this is not happening, this will happen, inshallah, because the board of directors are actively working on this one.
Well, thank you so much for acknowledging all the staff members of APPNA. I think everyone will agree that they do a tremendous job
Absolutely.
making sure that, excuse me, everyone has a great time, with APPNA meetings and their experience with APPNA. So my next question would be that, the APPNA officers, the BODs, they are located all over the country, and the central office is here in Chicago. So what challenges has the BUD faced, and you in particular as secretary in your role, managing the day-to-day affairs of the organization and making sure that things are streamlined? Is distance an issue? How do you manage? How often do you work, or how closely do you work with this office staff?
So with the office staff, we work very closely. Secretary and president are the one who's working with them very closely. I think this distance might be a limitation, but to be honest, with the new technology, with the Zoom and Team, I think that definitely overcoming these barriers. And APPNA being a organization of North America, both in US and Canada, definitely we cannot be in one location. So through the phone, through the Team, Zoom, and WhatsApp, we are very well connected. And the limitations definitely is not the distance. The limitation is our staffing right now, because APPNA has grown tremendously. But for the last couple of years, I think we should have spent more on our office to grow our office to meet the needs of our membership, and I think that is the biggest limiting factor. They are understaffed, and board of directors are very well aware of that. And bringing in Dr. Sara Siddiqui, who is a very well qualified, and also we are working on to probably hire more coordinators that will work with the different committees, because we want to make sure, like this year you have seen Leslie working with the different committees. The performance of the committees have tremendously gone up. This year, the committees have done a remarkable job. And that's only possible because we are providing them more support. So the board of directors are well aware of that. And inshallah, in the coming years, you will see the committees will get more support from our coordinators so they can perform and function properly.
Excellent. If you look back into the year 2025, which really has been a phenomenal year for APPNA in terms of membership growth, what do you think would be the biggest challenges, some of the biggest challenges that this year has posed?
Yeah, that's a tricky question, but it's a good question to ask. I think we can only move forward if we look back and see, and we just celebrate what we have done great, and we also be very open to do a better job if we have not done something good. And I think there was a lot of questions about the coordinations in organization. For example, you have seen the EGC committee getting very popular this year.
Yes.
And that's great. That's wonderful, because that's gaining the confidence of the membership. And also the FCC committee, they did a great job. But I will say there was a lot of communication and coordination issue among different committees. And I think this is something good happening, because with the time we are realizing that how we can work with each other, how we can coordinate with each other. Anything great happening in EGC, they are making a decision, it needs to be implemented. It's the board of directors need to timely act on that, and all the actionable items that's being presented by the EGC and FCC and other committees that needs to be implemented timely. So those coordinations, I think we learn from that. It's getting better. And in the coming years, you will see much better coordination between council-appointed committees, board-appointed committees with the board of directors. That's number one. And I think we are, at the end of years, much better on those because of these SOPs, and also we learn from each other. The second thing, I think there was during the summer meetings, there was some questions about the ticketing. Board of director worked on that. Board of director made a host committee's SOPs. And I think you will see in the coming years, those SOPs I already shared with the president-elect, Dr. Baba Rao, and asked him to share with all the host committees to just make sure they get, they need to go over, read over those SOPs so they don't make any mistake. And I think you will see the host committees performing totally different way this year because of those SOPs, because we made it very clear are certain expectations. They need to prepare the budget 60 days, need to get approved 30 days before the meeting happening, and a lot of other things that, we had some question raised this year. You will see, inshallah, those won't be there the next year. So we learned from our mistakes, and inshallah, the next year you will see the board will be more involved day to day in these kind of things so that we don't have any problems. One more thing, on the ticketing systems, we work with the different companies because we were trying to bring a QR code system or a better ticketing system where we are getting away from the physical tickets. So you will see, inshallah, this is also coming next year. So that will also solve some of the problems around the tickets that we had some questions this year, inshallah.
These were some of the very prominent concerns which a lot of members had, and I'm glad that you've taken the opportunity to answer these questions and have made the membership aware what step the BOD has taken and what improvement they can expect to see in the organization. So I thank you for that. Now, it's been almost 2 years since you've been serving on the board of directors, and your last year, you have been the secretary this year. If you were to look back, any regrets?
Um, like I said before, the leadership is a learned skill, and you just learn every day. And I think after 2 years, I learned a lot from my colleagues from this organization, and with this 2 years experience, I think I'm much better equipped to make a better decisions now. And I think this experience comes with the time, and I don't think so there is anything that I regret. But you always see that certain decisions you made, you probably could have done differently
Sure, yeah.
if you have knowledge of that. But otherwise, I don't have any regret. Rather, I'm honored, and it's a privilege to serve APPNA, especially for the last 2 years. And I really appreciate the board of directors for giving me that honor, and the whole membership for trusting me. And inshallah, we'll continue to serve this organization in whatever capacity in the future also, inshallah.
Dr. Sanaullah, you mentioned about the membership committee, and you mentioned, and we all are aware that the membership committee indeed has done a great job this year. We have almost 500 plus new lifetime members. We have more than 1,000 annual members. So these members are basically younger physicians also. Many of them, have just started their professional lives. They don't know much about the organization, and they're looking for ways, to find themselves a niche in this organization. So for all these young members, for all these newer members who are watching this episode, what is APPNA, and what would you tell them what to expect? What should the expectations be about this organization?
So that's a great question, and very close to my heart, because we need to involve and engage our younger physician in APPNA. This is not only for the survival of APPNA. Basically, this is the only way we can move forward and bring a lot of good changes at APPNA. So the message for the young physicians, I will say, is don't just think that what APPNA is offering you, what APPNA has to offer you. Let's come forward and serve, and just prove yourself first, because there's a lot of ways you can positively contribute in APPNA, and that's basically a way of paying back to your alumni and also to your chapter. For example, I will say, when I got involved in Nishtar Alumni, we did so many great projects back in Nishtar Alumni. That's the way I contributed to my alma mater. And there is a lot of ways I'm part of the local chapter, and I'm positively contributing in my community. So APPNA provides you that platform so you can better serve your community with the help of other colleagues. Excuse me. And also, you can serve your alma mater. This is only possible if you join this platform. So APPNA has a lot to offer. You just be part of this. And then another great thing, Dr. Alam, APPNA actually has something for everybody. If you have interest on the education, APPNA has a great platform on the education side. If your interests are on the advocacy side, APPNA is doing an amazing work on the advocacy side. Different committees, if you want to spend more time on charity and philanthropic, APPNA has a big wing, where you can do a lot of, great work in charity and philanthropic. And APPNA, I'm telling you, doing amazing work. Just see how our cornea transplant project is doing, mashallah. That is giving sight to so many people in Pakistan, in every corner of Pakistan. That was not possible if we did not have this organized platform. So APPNA has something for everybody, and I will invite the young physicians to be part of this. I'm telling you, there's so much good things are there for you for the networking. Dr. Alam, we just made for last year, we made a hospitalist group, APPNA Hospitalist Forum. So we have close to 700 hospitalists on that forum now. So this is how we are connected with each other, how we are helping to find a different jobs. We are helping them to educate how to negotiate the contract. So this is the beauty of this organized platform, that it has something for everybody. You just need to get involved in this.
I totally agree with you that APPNA is really our home away from home. This is where we connect and everyone finds an area of interest, and that is the beauty of this organization. So,
Absolutely.
for the incoming secretary, if you were to give one advice, which you think will be for the betterment of the organization, what will that advice be?
Yeah, great question. And that's the only one thing. Always keep the organizational on the front side. APPNA, definitely we have a lot of political groups, and there's a lot of politics also involved that happen in any organized medicine group. But if you keep the priority of APPNA on the front side, that will make a lot easier for you to make a decision. So APPNA should be as a top priority, and make every decision based on how it's going to benefit APPNA. Then everything will be easy for you.
I think that's a wonderful piece of advice. Um, how would you say was your experience working with other members of the board? I know that you've worked so closely with so many of them. They might just be your second family. So, as you part the board of directors, what would you reflect on?
So, so I will say I'm blessed to have so many great physicians, colleagues as a board of directors. Everybody is amazing. And this is the beauty of a board-centric organization, and I'm a big fan of this board-centric organization because they come with a diverse experience, and you get the benefit of their experience, a different perspective. So I'm very used to board-centric organizations because I'm part of different hospitals, a chief medical officer, and I'm also a board member of Oklahoma State Medical Board. So I know how to work with the different boards, and APPNA board is very diverse, and I think they are making the right decision. And slowly and gradually, they are heading towards a board-centric organization. Are we there? Probably not, but I think we're getting there. So I just want to thank everybody, all my colleagues on the board of directors. They're amazing people, they're wonderful people, and I really love working with them. And I think APPNA is in great hands. If you trust your leadership, you will see, inshallah, in next couple of years, this organization will be a different level, inshallah. I have no doubts on that.
I think everyone would like to see APPNA reach the potential that it truly deserves, and that can only happen with excellent unity and cohesion amongst the board members. And it seems that this year has been a very good year as far as the board working together for the betterment of APPNA is concerned. So I really want to thank you for all your services, you, your colleagues in the board, who basically do so much work that basically the membership is not really aware of, but that keeps the organization going. So I really want to acknowledge you and all the other members of the board for all the tremendous work that you have done in 2025. So we are going to go to the next part of this talk show. I know that we have had some serious discussions, But this is going to be a rapid fire kind of a thing. People would like to know who Dr. Mohammed Sanaullah is. What does he do apart from working for APPNA? Because APPNA also is a full-time job. So if you were to name one of your most favorite APPNA meetings so far, which one would it be? And you're allowed to be biased if you have arranged one.
Yes. So I would say, if you ask any favorite APPNA meeting, that was my meeting as a spring meeting in 2022. That I chaired, and we made close to 250,000 profit in that. So I'm biased on that. That was my favorite meeting. But um, if you ask, um, and I think there was so many other meetings, even this year's spring meetings. That was our summer meeting level meeting that happened in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
And one of the best meeting, very well organized. We made close to 130,000 profit in that also. So I will say all was great, but if you just need to point out one or two, I will say these two meetings.
That's totally understood. So you've really risen through the ranks, and you probably have been part of many APNA committees. So if you were to reflect back, which one was your most favorite committee?
Um, I will say the scholarship committee. I chaired that committee twice, and we have a close to $4 million in the scholarship. And
$4 million.
yes,
That's
so
impressive.
different alumni has contributed. Then there was some donations, matching donations from APPNA. So Nishtar has close to $1.7 million. I think King Edward is the second highest. They have close to 1 million. And then there are 7 other alumni they have in. So that is my favorite committee because it's making a huge impact back home. We from at the Nishtar Medical College, we are giving scholarship to 75 students every year. And for those 75 students, everything is free. Their tuition, their books, their hostel fees. So basically, these are for the deserving students, and it's making a huge impact. And you'll be surprised to know that from Nishtar alumni, we started getting those students who was at some point getting the scholarship. Now they're actively contributing in the Nishtar alumni. They are here, mashallah, they are consultant. So this is the impact of this APPNA scholarship committees making. I'm pretty sure all the committees, but this is one of the best committee.
That is truly the work that is needed in today's day and age for all the struggling young physicians and medical students who are looking forward to a career of fulfillment. And if APNA can play a role and make a difference in their lives, I think we all can be very proud of this organization. So
Absolutely.
those physicians who are of Pakistani descent, who are not members of APNA, but who are sitting on the fence and they're watching this interview, if you were to tell them the promise of APNA in a few words, what would you say?
Uh, I will say if you like to serve, APPNA is the best platform. If you want to learn something, APPNA is the best platform. If you want to know the business of medicine, you have so many physicians, the top-notch physicians who are doing great things that only APPNA can provide you. So please come and join APPNA, and I can tell you, you won't regret that. This is I'm saying after 15 years of joining APPNA. Yes, we have a politics. We have a lot of issues that we are overcoming, but the benefit that APPNA is offering, you will only come to know once you will join APPNA. And I invite you to please join APPNA, and you will never regret that.
I think we can relate very well to that because we all started when we were in our training, in our residency, and our fellowship, and we have been involved in this organization, and we are involved because of all the work plus the networking part. So I hope that all the young physicians watching this will take advice that you have given, and they will truly join this organization to make APNA the force that it deserves to be.
Absolutely.
So, as your last statement to the membership in your role as secretary for 2025, to the general membership, what would you say?
I will say, please remain positive. APPNA is heading in the right direction, and the way the board of director is leading, please have a trust on them, and definitely keep asking the right questions from the leadership. But to just assure you, APPNA is heading in the right direction, and the way is progressing. Inshallah, in the coming years, you will see APPNA at a different level. I have no doubts on that. So please keep the trust on APPNA, and continue to get involved and engage. This is the only way you can also keep your membership, your leadership accountable, but have the trust on the leadership. APPNA is heading in the right direction.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Mohammad Sanaullah, the APPNA Secretary for 2025, for your amazing discussion, talk, piece of advice for APPNA members, potential members, newer and younger members. We really appreciate all that you have done in your capacity as a volunteer for this organization, spearheading this organization, working with the other board of directors, chapter presidents, council. We really appreciate you and thank you for your services. And thank you so much for agreeing to give your precious time on this weekend.
I appreciate Dr. Alam for yourself, and also Dr. Sher Afghan and all your committee members for doing this tremendous work. And thank you again. Thank you, APPNA membership.
Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the conclusion of today's episode. It was our pleasure and honor to have Dr. Mohammad Sanaullah, the APPNA Secretary for 2025, be on the show and educate us about the working of APPNA as an organization. We hope you have a fantastic end of the year and look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.